behavior and misbehavior in public office.
So officers who the police complaints authority has recommended should not be at work, they are at work because there's nobody to suspend them. So they go along their merry way, courtesy Keith Rowley and the PNM. There's no commissioner. And that is the state of the police service today. I took note, the deputy commissioner of police say, we have a problem with crime. The problem is the people, you all walking too slow. If you walk faster, it's better. The crime strategy is to walk fast.
And also in keeping with news related, President of the Trinidad and Tobago Police and Welfare Association, Gideon Dixon, has expressed grave concerns over the appointment of a police commissioner from outside of the service. Speaking on state media this morning, Dixon noted this was demoralizing career officers.
It is only in the TTPS we are seeing that there is an attempt to have persons outside of the rank and file come in at the top strategic management level. That in itself is of grave concern to us because it does not occur at the Chief of Defense Staff when you are looking to select a Chief of Defense Staff. It does not occur when you are selecting a Chief Fire Officer. It does not occur when you are selecting the Commissioner of Prison. It does not occur when you are selecting the Chief Medical Officer. So what has happened is that over time, particularly when they changed the Act in 2006, efforts were made to see if you can put systems in place to treat with the police and our engagement in terms of law enforcement. That in itself is now playing itself out in such a way. It has had a demoralizing effect on career serving officers.
The police union representative is calling for transparency and accountability to avoid contamination in the process to select a new top cop. Following the end of former Commissioner Gary Griffith's 3-year tenure, the Police Service Commission collapsed. A new commission has since been constituted. Griffith is not a career police officer but was an army captain.
That is why we are at this stage here calling on the authorities to actually redo that entire process. There was too much of contamination, too much of the moving of the goalposts as it relates to the selection of a commissioner of police. And the people of Trinidad and Tobago do not deserve that. Our history is a new history, but our history should be one born on a level of transparency and accountability. The police service, law enforcement is big business. Law enforcement, you cannot play with the lives of persons who would have given their all from day one when you enter the organization. So in some instances, you have persons who entered way over 25, 30 plus years and would have put themselves up as candidates.
Moving on this evening, a 32-year-old laborer is expected to appear before a Princestown magistrate today, charged with the murders of his brother-in-law and younger sister on November 7, 2021. Rajendra Jagrup of Farmers Road, Sancho Road, New Grand also faces charges of wounding with intent to cause grievous bodily harm against his father and the attempted murder of his older sister. The charges were laid on Monday, 22nd November. Antero McQueen, 52, and his wife, 42, were at their Farmers Road, New Grand home when Jagrup called out to them. McQueen went out and armed with a cutlass, Jagrup approached him and chopped him on his neck. McQueen's wife, who rushed to his aid, was also chopped about her face and body. A 72-year-old male relative who came to their assistance was also attacked and chopped on his face. The assailant then proceeded to the nearby home of 35-year-old Monica Jagrup, where he chopped her several times about the body before fleeing. McQueen and Jagrup both died at the scene, while the other 2 victims were taken to the San Fernando General Hospital for treatment. Today, the Senate debated the motion regarding unparliamentary conduct of the opposition senators. It was described by the lone UNC senator present as, and I quote, a trial ambush. Andrea Murray brings you more in this report.
With the exception of Senator Wade Mark, all remaining opposition senators walked out of the Senate before the debate to begin on a motion to censor them. The private motion was filed by independent Senator Anthony Vera on the conduct of opposition senators against independent senators during a sitting of the Electoral College on October 21st. Despite the walkout, the motion continued and Senator Anthony Vera stated that the unparliamentary behavior is unacceptable.
First, I have nothing against the UNC opposition. I am the same towards all. I neither dislike nor favor any political party. This is about Trinidad and Tobago. Despicable on the 21st of October, but also by all of these opposition.
Saying that this was a trial by ambush and there is no natural justice.
Let there be no doubt in the minds of the citizens of this country that what we are dealing with here, Madam President, is a motion of censure against all opposition senators. This, Madam President, is akin to piercing a dagger literally into the heart of our system of parliamentary democracy in Trinidad and Tobago.
Senator Mark stated that Senator Anthony Vera has taken up the role of judge, jury and executioner. I am Andrea Murray, reporting for MCTV.
Thank you, Andrea. And still pertaining to this news story, independent Senator Paul Richards remained neutral in the debate, pointing out flaws on both sides. He stated the main issue was based on leadership.
I think it's important also to put on the record that while I support the principle involved in Senator Vera's motion, I have divergences in opinion on some of the aspects, in particular some of the phraseology, which might come as a surprise to some. But the wonderful thing about the independent bench, Madam President, is that the independents have the ability to agree or disagree with government, agree or disagree with the opposition, and agree and disagree with each other. And while I commend my colleague for the motion, which allows for a wider discussion about parliamentary conduct, and really what this is about to me, Madam President, is about leadership.
Richards found that the phrasing of the motion was limited, only focusing on the incident during the Electoral College. Senator Richards also noted that the behavior of the opposition on that day was not good, as it was deemed as a historic day where children were watching. Senator Richards agrees with the Code of Ethical Conduct and Behavior for the senators.
I think it's important also to put on the record that while I support the principle involved in Senator Vera's motion, I have divergences in opinion on some of the aspects, in particular some of the phraseology, which might come as a surprise to some. But the wonderful thing about the independent bench, Madam President, is that the independents have the ability to agree or disagree with government, agree or disagree with the opposition, and agree and disagree with each other.
And that's news on U97.5 FM, MCTV, WBHM, the Voice of Rock, and Fun Radio. Sponsored by Newsday.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life, because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
Okay, Rudolph, make her right. Then, oh, hold on. Mrs. Claus sent a WhatsApp. The elves are hungry. Pick up a Royal Castle Queen bucket, a King bucket, some royal wings, a family meal, a few combos, some extra delicious coleslaw, crinkle-cut fries, potato salad, and a snack box for yourself. Oh, and don't forget that delicious honey mustard sauce. It's really lashing. Okay, Rudolph, let's get that delicious local Trini flavor. Royal Castle, here we come. Royal Castle is the local something that makes it all taste better. Happy holidays from Royal Castle.
You're locked on to U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. Well, today it's not Anil Roberts, it's Victor Roberts. Welcome, sir.
Yes, sir. Pleasant good afternoon to each and everyone, and welcome to U97.5 FM Hot Like a Pepper. douglAR Radio. Today I'm your host Victor Roberts, sitting in for my good friend and colleague Anil Roberts. I was listening to the news a while ago and I was
Fascinated.
Yes, you know. But before I go there, I want to speak about something I heard just a while ago, Koki, in relation to government officials.
Yes.
Speaking about the merit list and the interference and the contamination with the merit list, and therefore they are requesting the new process take place. Today, ladies and gentlemen, as we get into that just a little bit, I want to ask the government. I want to ask Keith Rowley and the Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hines. Yeah. I want to ask the question today. The list that was supplied, the list that was prepared by the Police Service Commission, that went through all the rigorous format in terms of scoring all the scientific data in scoring the points and putting together all the necessary attributes to get that list up and running. A list that left with a vote that went to the President House somewhere around the 12th or the 11th of August. And as a result of that, and as a result of the interfacing and interfering by what is allegedly, by who is allegedly, a matter of fact, the Prime Minister, who confessed, stating that he can meet with whoever he decides and whenever he decides. I am saying, ladies and gentlemen, that the list that went to the President, what was in that list that the government is now saying that the list is contaminated? If it's anybody contaminate the list, it's the government, it's in nobody else, because the list went through the natural process natural justice was followed, the constitution was followed in relation to that merit list. The list was voted upon. The list was sent to President House by the instructions of the Police Service Commission. Bliss Sipasad took the list to Paula May Weeks, the President of the Republic. And I don't care who interferes and who interfere. The fact remains that the list must be intact because there wasn't any political interference in the preparation of the list, Corky. The list was prepared, the list went through the process, and the list went to the President House. The President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, I will continue to call for her resignation. You see, because when we allow a serious breach of the Constitution, a breach that took place as this breach, what it tells us, if we doesn't deal with it according to law, it tells us that we now set a new precedent that another president could do the same thing without being persecuted. And we must stand. The law is the law. The law is for us. The law is for you. The law is for the Prime Minister. And the law also is for the President of the country. Our President was supposed to protect and safeguard that list with all the power that is vested in her. Our President was to ensure that that list was transferred from President House to the Parliament. And if the President took it upon herself based on recommendation, whether it be by Keith Rowley or any other government official, or whether it was by Bliss Sipasad, the President must be held accountable. It is not a case where we just say that, look, a new commission has been appointed and a new list is forthcoming. No. This must not be allowed to go under the carpet. This is a serious breach of our Constitution. As a result of this breach, we had the collapse of the Police Service Commission. As a result of this breach, ladies and gentlemen, we are standing like sitting ducks without a commissioner of police and without an acting commissioner of police. Because of this breach, ladies and gentlemen, our crime situation is totally out of control. And therefore, somebody needs to be held accountable. And the person who was charged with the responsibility, who was delegated according to the Constitution to ensure that that merit list went to the Parliament, it is the President. And therefore, the President must be held accountable. I am saying that the President have no moral value to even appoint a fresh commissioner, a fresh commission. The President must be held accountable, and that politician who interferes and interfere must also be held accountable. We cannot allow a breach of the Constitution to be swept under the carpet and sit down idly by, believing that all is well. You see, when this precedent is set, ladies and gentlemen, it is a dangerous precedent that is set. And we will not be able to hold any president accountable who make the same mistake or breach the same constitution as this president. So I am saying we doesn't want to hear nothing about a new merit list. We want the list that was prepared. A matter of fact, if the lists were destroyed, then we getting into more hot waters, because then that list, is, a matter of fact, is public. It is public document. It is also a document that belongs to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. A matter of fact, it is an official document. So if that list was tampered with in any way after the preparation, then there is misbehavior in public office, and there is also criminal charges that must follow. We just can't sit idly by and say, well, look, let's move on, let's move on. It is not a matter of moving on. It is a matter of principle, it is a matter of the Constitution, and it's also a matter of moral and spiritual value at the highest office in our country, which was betrayed. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I am saying that we must never surrender this breach. Persons must be held accountable, and we must take a stand to fix that situation. Ladies and gentlemen, let me add something to what I just said. The law of the country is based upon the Constitution. The law that we govern, the law that judges make decisions from or with, the law that our police service prosecute in court, the law that charge individuals, send them to prison, it is as a result of the fundamental principle of our Constitution. A matter of fact, any law, any bill that comes to the Parliament, it must be in sync or in line with the Constitution. The government of Trinidad and Tobago must also be governed by the Constitution. The judiciary, the law association, and us as laymen, as normal citizens, the Constitution takes precedent in every aspect of law and order in our country. And therefore, based on that principle, we cannot allow something like what happened between August 12th, 11th, or thereabout to escape, to fall to the ground, to be swept under the carpet. We must stand up and demand, just as I am an advocate, that politicians must be held accountable. I am also advocating and stating quite clearly that our independent institution must also be held accountable. Our president, which is the highest form of the executive in our country, must be held accountable. You see, because we would have expected that the president would have safeguarded, discharged her duty, her responsibility to ensure that something as this, something as of great importance as this merit list should have been secured by our president to ensure the smooth sailing to our parliament, so that today we would have had a commissioner in place. You see, this is not about Gary Griffith. I want to reiterate that. This is not about Gary Griffith, you know. This is bigger than Gary Griffith. This is a breach in our Constitution. What do you think the outside world, what measurement do you believe that they will place upon us if we allow a serious breach of this nature, which has occurred in the highest office of our land, to be swept under the carpet? No, 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 no. Justice must be for the small. Justice must be for the medium. Justice must be for the large. And in the president case, justice must also be for the extra large. No escaping.
Rich and poor.
No escaping. The rich, the poor, and the in-between must be held accountable according to our laws. This is what will demonstrate that Trinidad and Tobago, we are a democratic country. This will demonstrate that Trinidad and Tobago is a law-abiding country. We cannot hold the small men and send them to prison for breaches at least, minor breaches within the law. And when we have major breaches as a result of who? As a result of what office create the breach, we allow those breach to go unpunished. That will only encourage more and more lawlessness in our country. Because you see, I as a man on the street, I as a man deal with everyone. I deal with the smokers, the pushers, the poor, the medium. I mingle and deal and advise and work with every category of citizens in our country. I encourage those who do wrong to turn a page. I encourage those who are lawbreakers to turn a page. I encourage those who breach the law. A matter of fact, I have folks who come out of prison, and these folks, some of them, I try to assist in many ways, sometimes even in the ways of counseling, helping these individuals to see that a country must be based upon law and order, because without law and order, ladies and gentlemen, our country will be in serious turmoil. And when we punish the small for breaches of the law, and we allow the big to escape, then what happens? It sows a seed within the society that if it is all right to breach the laws from that level, then it's also all right to break the law from the lower level. And this is what we must fight against. Until this country see that there is one law for every citizen, is until this country will continue to be crime stricken. It is until this crime situation will be out of control. The law must apply to every citizen. The law must appear to be just, even while the attributes of the law must be equal to everybody. This is how the law ought to work in our country. It cannot be a scale of laws for one people and another scale for another set of individuals. We're going to take a break, but ladies and gentlemen, we have to stand in defense of this breach, and we have to ensure, whether Gary or not, we have to ensure that people stand for what is right in our country. This have absolutely nothing to do whether Gary Griffith is commissioner of police or not. They must be held accountable. They must be held accountable. We're going for the break.
Well done, Mr. Politician Man. You done a wonderful job and tear down the country demolition man.
Fries, potato salad, and a snack box for yourself. Oh, and don't forget that delicious honey mustard sauce. It's really lashing. Okay, Rudolph, let's get that delicious local Trini flavor. Royal Castle, here we come. Royal Castle is the local something that makes it all taste better. Happy holidays from Royal Castle.
Greeted in the wonderful name of Jesus. My name is Bishop Kelvin Khan from Endurance Ministry International. Our new location is in Railway Road, Londonville. You can tune into 97.5 every Sunday morning from 6 a.m. till 8. Tell your nanny and your nana, your chachi, your chacha, your grandpa, your grandma. We need to pray for our nation. God bless you. Thank you.
Hi, this is Michael Rutlal, attorney at law. I'm inviting you to join me every Thursday at 5 p.m. on MCTV for the Social Contract. It's a new show where we will be discussing bills that are being debated in Parliament, topical legal issues and recent decisions of our courts, and where we'll be giving general legal advice on issues that affect you, the public. I encourage all of you to continue looking at MCTV, bringing you back to where you belong.
You're locked on to U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. Ryson Road, Port of Spain has the largest variety of toys in the Caribbean. All right, and South America. No one can beat our prices. It's cheaper than anybody else. We can prove it. Find something more expensive somewhere else and we'll beat that price. All right, they're open every day till late, Sunday to Sunday, 11 p.m. up to 11 p.m., even on Christmas Eve. Even Santa buys from us. What's the name of the place? Ryson Road on Port of Spain has the largest of toys in the Caribbean and South America. That's on Ryson Road. No name, right? You're locked onto U97.5 on Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. I'm Corky D. Oh, we also have Wave Restaurant and Bar. You must be vaccinated to enter Wave's Restaurant and Bar. You can dine in. They are located at Old Grafton Beach Road, Seaside, Black Rock, Tobago. You can book your table or dine in advance, call them in advance. And they also do takeout, delivery, also available. Call them on 731-4646. That's Waves Restaurant and Bar. You must be vaccinated. They're located at Old Grafton Beach Road, Seaside, Black Rock, Tobago. Yeah. And also Lake Grand Corland Resort, Spa Resort. Lake Corland Spa Resort, Stonehaven Bay, Black Rock. Bed and breakfast rates are available. To book, you can call 283-2597 or 463-2946. And there's also Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket at number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway, Andrew Lane, Dabadi, Mousika. Opening hours Monday to Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. And on Sundays, 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Yes, Mr. Victor, back to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, you see, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
You see, for too long in Trinidad and Tobago, we as citizens have respect for these large, huge offices, while those office holders does not have respect for the office in which they hold. And that is a serious indictment on our laws, because you cannot tell me we have prime ministers and presidents and ministers of government that we respect, that we give respect to their office, but yet while they hold that office, they do not respect the office that they hold. And therefore, we as citizens,
yes,
we as a people, we as a country, we have to hold these individuals account. For too long, in Trinidad and Tobago, for too long, we have allowed politicians, we have allowed magistrates, we have allowed judges, we have allowed all these institutions, they themselves disregard rules and order. They themselves disregard the same rules and order that they hold a Bible, a Quran, or a Bhagavad Gita and swear. They swear on these religious books that we will bear true faith and allegiance to Trinidad and Tobago. And not only so, but we will uphold the law, that they will protect the Constitution. And yet, after they rest down those religious books, then all hell break loose. It's the old way. It's no way, no moral values, no moral principles, no respect. They do as they feel. They do as they want. And yet, to the end of the day, they demand us to hold the same law that they don't intend to hold. And this is what we must change as a country. Every individual, from every citizen, from every man on the street, every man on the block, each and every one, every police officer, every soldier, every coast guard, every prison officer, every government official, every opposition official, everyone, we must hold them accountable for transparency, morality, and most important, integrity. We must hold our elected, our civil servants, and all those who serve in any aspect accountable. It cannot be same old, same old. We have had enough turmoil in these organizations. We have had enough turmoil in these organizations.
But how long has this been going on?
And this is the problem. Since I was a lad, looking for a little milk for mommy, when I started to grow up, I heard my daddy and my mother speak about the ills that is always one law for them and one law for us. And I'm saying, we just cannot continue. We just cannot let this continue. But I could take the call if you want. Somebody like they're trying to get.
All right, let's take this call. The number is 218-7762. Let's take this call. Hello.
Good evening, Mr. Roberts.
Good afternoon, sir.
This is the Sahina Inside, and I'm listening to a program very, very interesting. I want to make a couple of points, issues.
Yeah, go ahead.
You use the term our president. Do you believe she is acting as our president?
No, sir.
Or she is acting with the directives of the man who carried the Balize in his back pocket? Because some of her actions is questioned. Now, the other issue you talk about is the one with respect that the government ministers and the PNM mouthpiece now are trumpeting something to the effect that the merit list is not a palatable one.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give them some advice. If it's not palatable, all you tell me so in Parliament. Send the current list to Parliament, let them vote against it and tell me why they don't want Gary. I mean, it's plain and simple. They don't have to tell us that because they know who caused the couture.
Of course.
They know exactly who caused the couture, and they can tell us in Parliament, and they don't have to be afraid to be sued. The other thing is that I saw where, you know, this lady, this young lawyer, I don't want to use the word, who's challenged, Vera Bajan, apparently today I read it on the newspaper, now she won a case against the Opportunity Tribunal, and I'm hoping the chairman steps down, Donna, what call she, Powell or something like that.
Right.
I hope she steps down because her action was, from my vantage, discriminatory. Both, I don't want to use the R word, but the fact that it is an equal opportunities commission or tribunal, and she saw it fit to deny the young lady the opportunity to participate in that tribunal, because that is one of the most fitting positions for a person like that. Is a bright young lady.
Yeah.
She's a lawyer. She brighter than tight pants. I'm sure she gets she law degree in a shorter space of time. Go on and have a nice night.
Thank you, sir. And let me just deal with the second point. The issue with the take the call, brother. Let's take the call and we will move on. Hello, go ahead, caller. Good day, welcome.
Mr. Roberts.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Victor Roberts.
Yes,
and to Corky, a blessed night to you all.
Same to you, sir.
You see the problem. Today, the Senate becomes a Sucas College. You see, when Victor Roberts... No, not you, sir.
Anil Roberts?
Yeah. You see, the problem is they're carrying a motion. And
Senator Vera, Lady
right.
motion.
Senator Vera came up and he dramatized this, what he carrying into Parliament. And when you listen to them, some sounding like dramatism, some sounding like a clown, and some sounding like a comedian. And the real issue in this land, you can go to the hospital, you can go supermarket, every single thing in this country going so wreck. And when we, the citizen, you know, one thing with you is stay on point and don't come out like Pum Pum Man. You see, when you're talking to the citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, we need somebody serious. You see, Mrs. Kamala Prasad says, sir, to the 7 world leaders, I see she taking letters to them. And that's why the president has to understand it is not something she did was nice. It's going to attack her. It's going to attack the prime minister. When they go to these institutions for money, for anything, they have to give accountability. And this is what Mrs. Kamala Prasad is doing. She is standing for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And Mr. Victor Roberts,
yes, sir,
stay on point and people would follow you. You have a very, very good thing for each and every single citizen you talk for. You don't talk for them or they or my people, your people, they people, and them people. You talk for a better country, as Mrs. Kamala Prasad says. Have a blessed and wonderful night to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. And brother, I will just say this. I am a member of the UNC. I am a lifetime member of the UNC. But not because I am a lifetime member of the UNC, I will see something going wrong and not deal with it. You see, we have to understand that this country is bigger than the UNC and it is also bigger than the PNM. This country, it is our country. And therefore, we as the people of this country, we as the citizens, we must hold any and every government to account. It matters not who is there in office. We have to hold them to account. And the president, we would have believed the president who come out from this level of legal background, this president who hold many serious legal offices. A matter of fact, she even taught in respect to law. And I mean, you must understand, you must know, it is not a child, it is not a amateur, it is not a newcomer, it is a seasoned high court judge, a qualified individual. And I am saying, I want to believe that this is one of the presidents in relation to law that hold that high degree of understanding and documentation, certifying her in relation to the function that she should have conduct in relation to this merit list. When you listen the name of this list alone, the merit list, this list speaks volume. This list speaks heavy volume. And our president, knowing the background that she came from. It cannot be a mistake that the president made. It cannot be a lapse with the president. This situation, as far as where I sit, it have to be a direct breach based on the qualification of our president. That is my position. And therefore, the president must be held accountable. Those who influence, those who were involved, they also must be held accountable. I thought by now we would have heard that there was an investigation or Bliss Sipasad were placed under arrest by now. I would have thought that because of the seriousness of this situation, this issue, I would have thought by now members of the Police Service Commission, some of those individuals would have been arrested by now, because this is not a joking matter, you know. This is not a joking matter. I would have thought, and I will come later with Senator Vera and the Parliament and Alwari and all of them with that big mockery and that big pretense that they're putting on. You understand? Who has desecrated the Parliament more than the PNM? Who? Somebody tell me who. But I ain't want to go there yet. I will deal with that later.
Yes.
I deal with this point now. I am saying by now we should have looked at the headline on some of the PNM dailies, some of the PNM newspaper. We should be seeing by now that some 2, 3, or 4 individuals, they are in police custody as a result of misbehavior in public office. You see, I listen to the Prime Minister, you know. I listen to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister have a very naive way of behaving. But it's also a not only from a sarcastic standpoint, but it also psychologically. The Prime Minister have a way that he operates, that here what he does. When the Prime Minister is cornered in a situation, he himself bring it out. And he bring it out in a sort of a jokey form, a form of a kicks form. Let me give you an example. When the Prime Minister was cornered with the phone call that he made from the States to Nazim Bash in relation to the fake oil, when the Prime Minister was cornered, when he made another phone call to Vidya Dilki Singh in relation to the fake oil scandal, and when the opposition brought that phone call to the public domain, this was the strategy of the Prime Minister. He came to a press conference, and hear him. Yes, I call Mr. Bash because I want to know what is this I am hearing. And if someone, Mr. Bash is my friend, the media asks, is Bash a financer? He said, I'll be surprised if he doesn't finance the PNM. And he laughed at that. And then he come and said that, look, which one of you would have a friend and hear such a allegation and then would not call that friend to say, what is this I'm hearing? What is this I'm hearing about? And the Prime Minister said, he give me the assurance that that is not so. Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister should be in prison for that phone call. The Prime Minister should be in jail for that phone call, because the Prime Minister had the line minister at the time who was Franklin Khan deceased. The Prime Minister had the Attorney General who he used to pull out Malcolm Jones and other matters out of the court where Trinidad and Tobago lost millions upon millions of dollars. The Prime Minister had the chairman of Petrotrin board. The Prime Minister had the entire board that he could have called to find out what is this thing I hearing about this fake oil scandal. What is this I hearing? The Prime Minister choose not to call none of the four I mentioned that I just mentioned. None of them. But the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, chooses to call the man who is the subject of the investigation. The man who is the subject of the investigation. The Prime Minister chooses to call him. A matter of fact, Dilki Singh, who was also implicated by the internal audit and the other two audits, which is Gaffney Klein and Scroll forensic audit. Dilki Singh, who was implicated in that, the Prime Minister boasted the media that after he called Bash, he called Dilki Singh. Dilki Singh, who was a former candidate for the Prime Minister in the constituency of Siparia, the Prime Minister boasted that he called the two subjects on this matter. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, you tell me something. Let me make a comparison first. You tell me if was Kamla Prasad Bisesa who did call she friend in a matter so sensitive, a matter which caused Petrotrin to collapse, just as the Police Service Commission. If was Kamla Prasad Bisesa did make that call, I want you honest people who listening to this program to tell me what would have happened in this country. You tell me Trinidad and Tobago, if was Kamla, what would have happened? But you see, in Trinidad and Tobago, there is one law for the UNC and another law for the PNM. That is the problem in this country. And I am demanding that there must be one law. The same law for the UNC must be the same law for the PNM and must be the same law for the entire country. And until we reach that stage in this society is until we will remain a 2x4 republic. That is what we are, a 2x4 republic. Any cutlass carpenter could make Trinidad and Tobago. Any cutlass carpenter could fix we. That is the problem in this country. So this Keith Rowley laugh and tell the media, my friend, so I call him, but I just call him to find out what this was about. Let me tell you something. If this was the United States of America, Keith Rowley would have been impeached for that phone call. Keith Rowley would have been facing the jail for that phone call. You had all your ministers, everybody available. You ain't called none of them. And it is also alleged that Nicole Olivier was moved from the Ministry of Energy because she allowed the audit to take place. It is also alleged that Nicole Olivier was kicked out. Nicole Olivier got fired. She went for a little holiday porting in one of the Caribbean countries for a few days. And they fired she while she was outside of the country. Simply because the allegation is that she had allowed this fake oil investigation as the minister at the time to continue without notifying, or I think she notified, allegedly, I want to be careful, notified the cabinet after the investigation started. Cut she throat. Cut she throat. And this is what we must not accept. We can't take this kind of behavior. So you, because you is Prime Minister, you feel you could do what you want. Because you is Prime Minister, you feel you could go by the President and order the President to send back the merit list, whether it be to take off Gary Griffith's name or what. What madness is this in this country? And then we have a bunch of people in this country supports anything Keith Rowley do. Anything Keith Rowley do, we have a bunch of people that supports that. And let me tell you what's the sad thing about it. I remember somewhere back in 90 whatever, 95, 98, somewhere down there, Basdio Pandey challenged the Constitution. Basdio Pandey Corky, challenged the Constitution when he had appointed losing candidates as senators. I don't know if Trinidad could remember that. He was the first individual to appoint losing candidates as senators. It happened no time before, according to my information. And it was challenged in the court. And the court ruled that within the Constitution, there is nothing that debar a losing candidate from becoming a senator. And that was a precedent that was set, and today it continue. We have losing candidates continue to take the office, a matter of fact, the upper house, as senators. All right? That is a constitutional challenge, and that we will support, but we will not support these blatant breaches. And because the Prime Minister have the magic wand, and because the President probably using the same magic wand that the Prime Minister strike to carry out the instructions, bringing Trinidad and Tobago in this crisis, because whether you want to accept it or not, Trinidad and Tobago, we are in a crisis. Whether you are PNM, whether you are UNC, whatever you want to be, we are in a serious crisis. And my admonition is for us to be citizens of Trinidad and Tobago first, before we be members of a political party.
Yes.
Be citizens of your country first. What do I mean by that? Defend what is right, rebuke what is wrong according to our Constitution, and then support any party that you so choose to support. Because let me tell you something, the Constitution is bigger than your party. We're going for a break. We will be right back.
Okay, Rudolph, make a right. Then, oh, hold on. Mrs. Claus sent a WhatsApp. The elves are hungry. Pick up a Royal Castle Queen bucket, a King bucket, some royal wings, a family meal, a few combos, some extra delicious coleslaw, crinkle-cut fries, potato salad, and a snack box for yourself. Oh, and don't forget that delicious honey mustard sauce. It's really lashing. Okay, Rudolph, let's get that delicious local Trini flavor. Royal Castle, here we come. Royal Castle is the local something that makes it all taste better. Happy holidays from Royal Castle.
Coming soon on MCTV, the local Palooza show and countdown. Hosted by TNT's rock ambassador, Bees High Five, the metal merchant. See and hear all your favorite local rock bands. Keep it rock alive. Rhythms Communications Network, local Palooza show and countdown. Coming soon on MCTV, the local Palooza show and countdown.
It's time to make your community better than before. Join yours truly, Kieran Joseph Samaru, on Your Community. We'll be discussing the important issues with the important people in the place most important to you, your community. Join us every Tuesday at 9 p.m. right here on MCTV as we know and make your community better than before.
Hi, this is Michael Rutlal, attorney at law. I'm inviting you to join me every Thursday at 5 p.m. on MCTV for the Social Contract. It's a new show where we will be discussing bills that are being debated in Parliament, topical legal issues and recent decisions of our courts, and where we'll be giving general legal advice on issues that affect you, the public. I encourage all of you to continue looking at MCTV bringing you back to where you belong. Hi, this is Michael Rutlal, attorney at law. I'm inviting you to join me every Thursday at 5 p.m. on MCTV for the Social Contract.
U975 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio and Multicultural Television MCTV, bringing you back where you belong. Part of the Rhythms Communications Network. To advertise with us, call 218-7820.
Hey, and you got to check out Island Hobbies on Riveston Road, Port of Spain. They have the largest variety of toys in the Caribbean and South America. No one beats their prices. If you see it cheaper elsewhere, come in and prove it. And Island Hobbies on Riveston Road, Port of Spain will beat it. Open every day. Late opening hours, okay? Sunday to Sunday, even on Christmas Eve till 11 p.m. Even Santa shops at Island Hobbies. Riveston Road, Port of Spain. Check them out. Then we have Waves Restaurant and Bar. That's in Tobago, right? You must be vaccinated to go there. That's Waves Restaurant and Bar in Tobago at Old Grafton Beach Road, Seaside. Black Rock in Tobago. Yeah, man. You can book a table in advance, or you can go and dine in as well. Call them on 731-4646. Waves Restaurant and Bar. And then we also have Lake Grand Call and Spa Resort, Stonehaven Bay, Black Rock. Bed and breakfast rates are available. To book, you can call 283-2597 or 463-2946. Also, we have Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket, at number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill, Roosevelt Highway, Andrew Lane, Dabadie, Mausika. Opening hours Monday to Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. and on Sundays, 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Check it out. You're locked on to U97.5 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio. Well, is it not your regular Anil here today? It's Victor Roberts. I'm trying to get used to the names.
You done a wonderful job and tear down the country demolition, man. Civily bang, well done, Mr. Politician, man. You done such a great job selling out the country with your business plan. Get them out!
And we're back.
Welcome back. I was just trying to find out who is the producer of that tune.
Oh, that's a little magic there.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So you could give them some numbers. We'll take some call on that
Yes,
subject
that's
before we move on to the next subject.
218-7762. We'd love to hear from you all what you have to say. 218-7762. 9 minutes past 7.
And Trinidad, this is what all of us as citizens of this country should really strive to uphold. Yeah. We need to put aside the partisan, we need to put aside the bias, and when something of this nature takes place within our society, we all must sing with one voice to correct the situation. It is these constitutional situation. We as the citizens of the country should not make that a political persuasion in respect to whether we will speak out against it, or because it's we party we have nothing to say about it. No. There is things that all of us must stand together and stand united to ensure that it work well. Because as I said before, if we doesn't hold these individuals that we put in office, remember when we elect a government, when we elect a president, that president is elected based on the government that we elect, okay? Mm-hmm. So by extension, we also elect that president. But first, the president ought to understand that her loyalty must be to the Constitution and the country. She needs to understand that there is a separation of power. It is in the Constitution. We boast about it. We boast about the legislative, we boast about the executive, and we boast about the judiciary. She have to understand that there's a separation of powers. And even though she was favored by the prime minister to be selected and appointed, then she must understand that she must be thankful. She must have some sense of gratitude. But she must also understand that the office comes separated from her gratitude towards the person who elected her, and her office must be according to law.
Right. We have a caller. Hello?
Welcome, caller. Good day.
Good night, Mr. Robert.
Good night.
and
Good night. Good night.
Listen to this thing, boys. Terrence the Terrible, a.k.a., you know, MOH, right?
Yes.
He has to go to the optometrist because I believe he has yampy in his eyes. You know, everybody knows yampy. I read the newspaper. He's saying it's the third wave. What kind of dopeness is that? The whole citizens of Trinidad and Tobago knew a tsunami was coming because the neglect and the mismanagement of the MOH, Terrence the Terrible, and his team. Everybody seeing this thing hitting everybody left, right, and center in Europe. Everybody knows not a small wave you can surf on. There's a big wave and you have to duck. You know, they see that and they are prepared for it. Look what happened today again. 21. If we do a rough calculation, just before this fella, Tight Pants, want to wind down the place for Carnival, you know you want to do that, right? We got about 3,000, and what we will do, will we continue with Carnival? They should start telling everybody, trumpeting the thing that is no Carnival. We have to get this thing under control. And first thing, the vaccine vagrant, a.k.a. Pimpanian, had to do is to fire Terrence the Terrible and get some new doctors and clinical doctors to help manage this COVID. If it's not the criminals getting we, COVID go get we, you know. We're in a sad state. Go and have a nice night.
All right, thank you, sir. And that is the second point that I'm going to deal with. So I will comment on your comment in just a little bit. So we open the lines for anyone wishes to call.
218-7762. Call now.
So I was saying, the president must separate that gratitude and take up a position as the defender of the Constitution, and it must be defended at all costs.
Hello, caller.
Welcome, caller. Good night.
Hello?
You hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
This thing that's going on in Tobago, this election, just now they're going to have a bigger flare in Tobago with this COVID. You understand? So let them play the fool. Right? That $18 billion where it didn't help the poor people in the country with, they're going to need that. And they wouldn't have it to use because Rowley and them keep it out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
That's right, 218-7762.
So at the same time, while the president have that responsibility, we as the citizens also have a responsibility. And we must not allow our responsibility as defenders of the Constitution, because let me tell you something. This Constitution gives the government authority to create laws, to make laws, to bring laws to govern us. Therefore, they bring laws that will govern your babies. The unborn babies, they will born and come into this country, meeting laws that they will have to adhere to. And that is why it is so imperative. I as a man like to use small words.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so it is so important because you see, when I like to talk with the man on the street could understand what is happening in the country, because when
because that's the thing about it, people doesn't understand what taking place in the government and so on, and they're just there every day, every year. So when you break it down to them now, they might come forward.
That is why I love to talk.
Yes.
Because they are the ones in the majority, and they are the ones that we have to get to understand. Hey, look, here what is happening here, This thing that all they take a position and say, all they ain't voting and we not taking no part in that. and that politic thing is not for we. I want them to understand that politics thing affecting them. I want them to understand that politic thing, they have to live by it. I want them to understand that politic thing is what sending them to prison. I want to tell them that politic thing is what had them without food. So I am advocating. I am, take back that word, I am encouraging the man on the street to understand, to take part. To take part, be a part of what governs you, be a part of the decision making in this country. Don't just leave it for the little 30% up there, because I'm going to tell you something, they will always vote in favor of themselves. That is the selfishness about this. They themselves will vote in favor of themselves. But I am trying to get the man on the street, the average man, the man in the community with the gun, the man who shooting the brother, the man who doesn't understand that this battle is not against us in the community, the man who doesn't understand that the brother is not the enemy, the man who doesn't understand why he is in that condition, that wretched condition. Welcome, caller. Good day.
Hi, good evening, Victor and Kokidi. How are you all doing?
Fine,
good
sir,
night,
fine.
listeners. Well, I was around, and I hear that a gang was about to derelict the train on Harris Promenade, but it couldn't get started. And a fool went and get panic and put one to tabas around it. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good night.
All right. Was that someone trying?
Thank you for that smile, my brother. So I am trying to get the folks in the bad areas, the areas that we discover, and the areas that we speak out against, the stigmatizing those communities as communities that we want no part of. Let me tell you something. If we are not part of the solution, Koki, we will be part of the problem. If we doesn't try to fix these areas, then these areas will affect all of us. And that is what the politician, that is what people in this country not understanding.
We also have to get them aware of what's taking place right now, because there's a possibility there might be carnival. And they will have people who vaccinated going in a particular section, and the other people who coming out wild and doing things and they know nothing, they could possibly get COVID and so on. But and no one educating the people where that is concerned.
But I do believe it was a carnival. And when I'm on the second point, I will tell you why.
All right.
I will tell you why on the second point. So we had to work.
Right.
We had to ensure that when we install a government, forget the yellow and red, forget that color, that is not the problem. The problem is not red or yellow. The problem is we not holding them accountable. We not making them work.
How do we do that and there's no police commissioner?
Take the call.
All right. Hello, 97.5.
Welcome. Good night.
Hello?
I came down here tonight to Carcass this evening. So you know the drive. You know the state of the roads.
Yes.
Rain fell, so the rain covers the holes, and you hit the holes and want to break your wheels or what have you. But you know, every time I come down this way, and I'm down here tonight, those people that selling Zaboka, orange, what have you, in La Brea, they seem to be happy and contented that way. You agree with me, of course.
Don't talk La Brea too much. I'm from La Brea.
No, but
and the sad
they seem to be
thing about
contented. Why?
The sad thing about it, I agree with you.
Yes.
Oh, they are. I mean, I patronize, but sometimes I say, why am I patronizing these people to pussy, get this thing keeping going forever? You know?
Yes.
You know, it's incredible. Anyhow, and back to the president. So she now is at her own free will. She can do as she wants. You know, and we suffer the consequences.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, correct.
Mr. Roberts, you're a gentleman. I know you. You know me too, eh?
All right.
And I hope I see you soon.
Okay, I appreciate that.
All the best. Good night.
Thank you, sir. So my brother, go ahead.
So what are you saying? The people just going along with all these things.
Let me tell you a little bit about Labre.
Yes.
Labre was once the backbone of Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
A matter of fact, in Station Beach, we would have had ships coming from throughout the hemisphere to gather asphalt and pitch and so on in Station Beach and take to various parts of the world. We have one of the first natural deep water harbor in Brighton, Labre. We also have the Pitch Lake in Labre. We had oil and gas and so on. And Labre had contributed significantly to the economy of this country. A matter of fact, at one time, Labre Point, Faizabad, we stood and take the strain of this country. And we had the economy stable. A matter of fact, we were in a position that we would have lent Caribbean countries money from our great oil experience that they call the oil boom. And what has happened, Koki, is that Labre really never had what is true and proper representation. Labre always have a number in the parliament, a number that the PNM count even before the election. A matter of fact, I caused Keith Rowley to come down in Labre and campaign on about 2 occasions. And what happened to the people in Labre is that there was abuse for so many years politically that they become sort of, and I want to choose a good word from my vocabulary. They become so despondent. They become so despondent that some of them just surrender, they just give up. They just accept what is there. And then another aspect to that is that some of the parents, some of the elderly folks in Labre, they were also wicked to themselves. Plain talk, bad manners. They were also wicked to themselves. Not only wicked to themselves, but they were also wicked to their children. And I will tell you how. Labre elderly go through the worst treatment from the party that they support. The worst treatment. They live on promises. I think a couple of weeks ago I told you that Keith Rowley came down in Labre in 2015 thereabout and boast that he was going to put up a plywood factory and how they already signed memorandum of understanding. And so the wood was coming from Guyana and Suriname and the other raw material. Everything was in place and over 500 persons would have been employed and the fence line communities would have benefited and so on. A matter of fact, they went as far to tell the people in Labre, they went as far to tell them, look, if the UNC win the election, all these plans will go down the drain. It is a matter of just signing within the next 2 to 3 months. And then the people of Labre, they supported that promise. And they went out in their numbers and they cast their vote for Keith Christopher Rowley, a candidate. And today, what they have from the plywood factory is a dream. That's all they have. A dream that a plywood factory was coming. And then in 2020, I run for my party, and the mobilization was great. The people finally believe that hope has arrived, and therefore Keith Rowley again came down to Labre, put up a massive billboard in Point Door Junction, massive, that a dry dock is coming. And we already, same promise, we already enter into agreement with China and so on, and housing scheme coming, and this coming, and that coming, and everything coming. And again, the parents encourage their children.
Yes.
And they see finally, look, they put up the billboard. This time is business because the plywood factory, they didn't put up nothing.
Right.
But now they put up the billboard, the factory coming.
Right.
And therefore, they went out again with the help of the Tiefin EBC, and they voted. And here we are, again in Labre, with another, well, this one is not a dream, a nightmare this time.
So what do you think they'll tell them now? Come in.
Well, that's if they have anybody to tell the way the pandemic going. That's the problem, you know. That's if they will have anybody to tell.
It's probably coming on a snail back.
Exactly. And that is the condition of Labre people. Sometimes I went down to Labre, was 2 weeks ago, Lee, when we went and give out some hampers down there to some of the people. And let me tell you something, brother. The people in Labre suffering. When I tell you suffering. Take the call.
Yes, let's do this call. Hello?
Welcome, caller.
Hello?
Mr. Victor?
Yes, sir.
You see the word you used there just now? Scheme? They come and they scheme the people on there. So you see, housing scheme, insurance scheme, and all these schemes. And these schemers coming to scheme the people. You know, they call them twins and parrot. What do a twin or a parrot know about a university?
Yeah.
You know what they was developing so beautiful down there? And I was proud to know that the south, where the oil, the pitch, and all these minerals come, and we only build in Port of Spain, and we live in San Fernando and Point 14 and all these other countryside. And all these brilliant people, all these very educated people, the South people build Port of Spain.
Yes.
They send the children to school. And you get in a university that people from Caracas, Mayaro, Guayagoyari, Toko, all of them could have come right there. And when they finish, they go home. They're not going to spend money to rent a place or to buy food. They're going home and study. Why is it we, the people? You know one thing I like how you're saying it? We, the people, the voters, has committed the crime against our very own self.
Yes, sir.
And if we do not unite and be our brothers and sisters keeper, I don't have no African and Indian in me, you know. I have a human race in me. I love to see people happy. And you see what the young people is going through? In our time, it was never like that. You had a revolution go on in education, the 24th century, Mrs. Kamala Prasad, bring it there. From the babies to the elderly was happy today, what they are. You know, we go into meeting, rapping, clapping, and our Prime Minister is like a comedian. We rapping, we clapping, we dancing. Today we crying, we bawling, and we groaning, and we bowing, we head in shame. But we would not stand up for honesty. Have a better one.
Thank you. And caller, the problem, you are quite right. The problem in this country is the people, is us. Take that call, brother. Hello? Welcome, good night.
Hey, gentlemen.
Yeah, good night.
Yeah, if the country going the way it's going, pretty soon, as Mr. Roberts said, they might not have anybody because COVID, like, it's taken plenty with them, right? And the situation